Right, guys, so Champions League football is back and with a new coat of paint and new format. And it begins with Juventus opening the new Champions League, hosting PSV Eindhoven. But before we get on with the video, this is Zakaria FC, and this is a new series where I review Champions League game weeks every week. If you like what you see, hit the like, subscribe, and the noti bell, and let's get the ball rolling. And just like I mentioned earlier on, Juve versus PSV was the first game of the new Champions League format, and the opening goal was a banger, a goal for the UCL archives to be on replay after replay. The ones you see from their Twitter page, Instagram page every couple of years getting posted on their channel. But this goal from the young Turk, Kane Yildiz, cutting in on the right and curling a sweet shot, hitting the top of the post, right side, and just going straight in. What a way to set the tone for the new Champions League format. And then not long after, later on, Juve score again with a Nicolas Gonzalez run from the right side of the flank, cutting in to Vlahovic, who then lays it off to Weston McKennie for the tap in, but apparently Vlahovic didn't even touch it, so it is a Nicolas Gonzalez assist. PSV's defense was wide open and easy to hit on the counter attack. V's defense was wide and easy to hit on the counter attack. McKennie, he was just wide open, and Nico Gonzalez, who was involved in the McKennie goal, got his well-deserved goal in this game too. PSV towards the end of the game did get a consolation goal, but it was way too late. I can't lie. Like, PSV were surprisingly, they were disappointing. I was expecting way more of a competitive game especially from the top team in the Eredivisie. They won their last 5 games before this game and are currently the Eredivisie champions. But this doesn't take away from the fact that Thiago Motta has Juve well coached. The next game we're going to talk about is Aston Villa. Aston Villa returning from their long Champions League hiatus, winning 3-0 comfortably over Young Boys, with Tielemans opening the scoring and then the academy boy Jacob Ramsey also scoring in the first half. The game finished up with a third goal late in the game from an outside of the box shot from Amadou Onana. This team, to be honest, is the most exciting team in the Champions League. It excites me a lot, and my eyes have been on them since even when they qualified, and it's just mainly because they're in a similar position to Newcastle, like from last season, but they have recruited better than Newcastle. They seem more prepared than Newcastle. I know they had the injuries last season, but look at the transfer window last season. They didn't buy too many players. They bought Tonali, very expensive, and then he was just banned for a whole season. But Aston Villa look like they're ready for the increase in fixtures from the Champions League, and hopefully they are ready and they don't get mad injury plague like Newcastle. But they are missing their anchor Douglas Luiz, but hopefully the two Belgian connections, Tielemans and Onana, can make up for that, and then hopefully Doucouré can come back fully fit and be that anchor for their team. Next game, AC Milan hosted Liverpool to continue the long-standing rivalry between the two historical Champions League teams. Milan opening the scoring in the first 3 minutes from a Christian Pulisic goal. Pulisic with a solo run from the right wing and hitting it low past Alisson. You'd think that would mean that Liverpool be having a stinker, and I thought that too, but boy, we were so wrong. With this Milan team, all you had to do to beat them was just set pieces. Konate equalised by heading a free kick cross on the side of the box by Trent. 5 minutes before half-time, Van Dijk just scores a similar header from a same-pass corner. And I know they're towering players, big twin tower type of players, but that's just way too easy for them. And then Dominic Szoboszlai killed the game off with a third after a Cody Gakpo run and cross. For a team that's in a transition period, Liverpool still look good. I know they got still top players, but they're in the transition period this season with their new manager. They have a playing style which isn't perfect. They haven't perfected it, which is hence why I'm saying it's a transition season and still needs to be refined, but they are getting results. What I've noticed with Arne Slot is that he's good at using the players that he has right now, considering that they didn't sign any players. Well, they signed one right wing, but they didn't sign the 6 that they want. And he does really well with making do with what he's got, especially main example Ryan Gravenberch. No 6. They put Gravenberch. Arne Slot put Gravenberch on the 6, and Slot has given him so much faith in that position. And Gravenberch is playing his best football so far, and finally looks like a established player in the Liverpool team. This also means like players like McAllister can play in his normal position, more advanced 8, which is where he played his best football for Brighton, and plays for Argentina there, and he plays amazing there. I can't lie, Milan, they're just having a howler of a season with this talented of a squad as well. Their new manager Fonseca isn't able to get the best out of their team. He's coached successful teams in the past, but if you noticed on his record, when the teams he struggles with is Italian teams. First AS Roma and now AC Milan. But we now move on to the 9-2 beatdown of Dinamo Zagreb by Bayern Munich. I can't lie, this smell of old school Champions League that UEFA were trying to get away from, where there were too many matchups with big teams and small teams, which made it less competitive. But it seems like this is a one-off, and to be honest, I don't mind a one-off thrashing every now and then. So it just gives a bit of range in the competition. I like, so far in this competition, there's a lot of range and a lot of variety, and it is competitive, but I don't know why I said that, but yeah, I don't mind that every now and then, just the 10-0 thrashings, you know what I mean. But this game, Harry Kane scoring 4 goals, 3 of them pens, and it meant he beat Wayne Rooney's record of top British Champions League scorer. I think I worded it right, but I can't remember how the commentators worded it. It seems like there's a stat for everything, I can't lie. But Kane isn't beating the stat pad allegations anytime soon. 3 goals and there were penalties, and then 1 was a tap-in. It's outrageous behaviour, shameless, but I hear it. But Bayern also had goals from Rafael Guerreiro, and the Champions League debut goal from Michael Olise. Later on, he did also score a brace as well. Zagreb also scoring 2 goals after half-time to spark a little bit of a comeback, but that was completely shut down by Olise's second goal, and then another goal by Kane, which was a penalty, and then 2 late goals from Sane and out of favour Leon Goretzka. Dinamo Zagreb players, they must be having nightmares every night now, because that piss-taking Yabba Dabba Do song after every goal from Bayern, and imagine you just keep conceding, it is insult to injury. I'd be real, I'd be pissed at that. But Real Madrid taking on Stuttgart at the Santiago Bernabeu. First half, Madrid couldn't get out of first gear, with Courtois making game-winning saves to keep Los Blancos in the game. Stuttgart dominated in attack in the first half, but couldn't finish their dinner, and not finishing their dinner came back to bite them, as only 22 seconds into the second half, Rodrigo squares it into Mbappe for him to score his first Champions goal as a Galactico. This is another example of if you don't kill Madrid off, they'll come back and punish you. It's just like Thanos said, you should have gone for the head. On the 67th minute, Stuttgart did score a well-deserved equaliser from a Dennis Undav header, but Rudiger silenced his former club by scoring a header from a Luka Modric corner. Then to put the nail in the coffin, Bobby Charlton. Endrick making his UCL debut, darts down the middle, and instead of passing it to the right winger, I think it was Rodrigo on the right, he just shoots a tame shot, a soft shot outside the box, and it just slips through the keeper's fingers, and he scores on his Champions League debut and celebrates like he won the Champions League. He celebrated like crazy, jumped with the crowd, but he's a kid in it, so it is what it is. He'll learn that over the years that the real celebrations is when you win trophies, and he's got good mentors in that team. Sporting Lisbon beat Lille 2-0 with a Victor Gyökeres and a Debast goals to win it. But I want to talk about Victor Gyökeres, a man that big with goal scoring abilities. He's built like a proper striker, strong, holding off the ball, but he has an extra attribute that should be illegal. The guy runs at you like a winger as well, and it's a very scary sight. And I don't know how defenders can handle it. He's gonna be like this season. I know it's like last season, but even now this season is gonna be way more frequent. It's gonna be reported by media constantly as a big target for teams, and similar to like last couple of years where it was Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen's now gone to Turkey. Gyökeres is the new shiny striker for the football media to talk about as a transfer target for big teams. And you see from his stats as well, 12 goals, 5 assists in 9 games so far. This is crazy stats. Bologna marked their Champions League return with a draw. Boring as hell. Let's move on. And we move on to the first upset of the new Champions League campaign. Sparta Prague beating RB Leipzig 3-0. RB Salzburg side managed by former Klopp assistant Pep Linders. Sparta Prague scoring on the first minute of the game by, I can't pronounce his name, Karinen, and just before half time, Victor Olatunji scoring a second goal. No relation to any British YouTubers around, by the way. Sparta also scored a third goal in the 58th minute to finish the game with an amazing 3-0 win for the side. Celtic over the years in the UCL play very good football and attractive football, but just never win their games. To be fair, they always get drawn with hefty teams like Barca, Bayern, etc., and they always get pumped. But this campaign, they win emphatically, and it was nice. To be honest, it was nice to see. I know it wasn't a hard team to beat, but a win is a win. And their next game in game week 2 is Borussia Dortmund, and this will be a battle of super fans. Fan support in the stadium is going to be crazy. I can't wait to watch that game, loud as hell. But speaking of Dortmund, they travelled to Belgium to play Club Brugge, a team led by 2 Klopp OGs, Nuri Sahin and Piszczek. The game was 0-0 for most of the part, with Club Brugge giving Dortmund some scares and attacking well. However, one change for Dortmund turned the tide. Jamie Bino Gittins, or what he's known by now, Jamie Gittins, scoring not long after coming on to break the deadlock, and then scoring a second goal late on the game, with Seru Guirassy scoring a pen on the 95th minute to seal it. Jamie Gittins, I can't lie, needs to start now for Dortmund. He's clinical, he's effective, just very direct. And if they move Adeyemi to the right, Gittins on the left, with Marlon as a striker, that will be a very dynamic line for Dortmund. They can switch around. Marlon doesn't only play striker, he can play on the wing, so they can switch around and be free flowing in attack. And Gittins, he is Dortmund's new star player right now and deserves starting minutes, and I hope they give it to him. The biggest matchup of the first game week was Man City hosting Inter Milan in a rematch of the Champions League final two seasons ago. They continued on from that game, both teams playing a chess match, but the only difference is that this game was goalless. However, it wasn't a ball fest especially for the tacticos online. Sort of a ball fest for me because I'm not much of a tactico. I do like reading and watching videos about tactics, but I just like entertaining football. I can't lie, I'm a simpleton. If you want to call me a simpleton, so be it. PSG hosted Girona for their first game week, and Girona held them down in defence, staving off attacks from them. Ousmane Dembele, also Hakimi's runs down the byline, causing problems for Girona. Around the hour mark, Luis Enrique made some changes, adding on Desiree Doué, Lee Kang-in, João Neves, which led to PSG starting to play really well, and PSG eventually getting their breakthrough in a way that I wasn't expecting. But it was a Nuno Mendes cross in the 90th minute, and Gazaniga just so out of position that when it hit a defender, it just went through his legs, and it was just a howler, and it became an own goal. I don't know what Gazaniga was doing, just standing so far out from his goal line, especially on a cross, but it caused them to lose 3 points and the goal. But on Thursday, Bayer Leverkusen opened their campaign comfortably beating Feyenoord 4-0. After 5 minutes, Florian Wirtz scored on his UCL debut, which is mad. I thought he played in the Champions League already before, but since he's got into the team from the academy, Leverkusen haven't been in the Champions League, to be fair, which is actually crazy to me. But on his UCL debut, after Feyenoord gave the ball away in midfield, he scores a left foot shot from outside the box, and it sneaks into the bottom right corner. Grimaldo, darting down the middle of the box, scores unmarked. Wirtz also scoring his second goal 5 minutes later, and again being unmarked by final defenders. And just before half time, Tapsoba scores as well, a header from a Grimaldo free kick, but later on it was recorded down as an own goal. Pretty simple game for Bayer Leverkusen, dominating 4-0, 4 goals before the first half even finished, basically. Benfica opened their campaign with a 2-0 win over Red Star Belgrade. An early goal for Benfica, scoring by, I'm gonna butcher this, Aktakoglu, and then a second by Kochu, who will be an important player for Benfica during their season. Milson did score for Red Star Belgrade, but it was not enough for them to mount a comeback. Arsenal were away to Europa League winners Atalanta in a 0-0 draw. Atalanta gave Arsenal a hard time during the game, closing down passing lanes for them. Atalanta should have won the game after winning a pen, but an amazing double save by David Raya helped save Arsenal keep 1 point at least. But this game showed that Arsenal were missing Odegaard's creativity, as none of the midfielders could break the lines. Partey, Rice, they just couldn't break the lines of that tight Atalanta defence. Atalanta showed how toothless Arsenal can be when defended well against. Arteta tried to have them go long to Havertz for him to head it towards Saka and Martinelli, but it was pointless because it's pointless if they can't get through and go and score. And with the game against title rivals Man City coming up after that, Atletico beat RB Leipzig with a very late winner by Jimenez. The game opened with a Benjamin Sesko goal in the 4th minute, and to be honest, there seems to be a lot of early goals in this campaign so far. But Griezmann equalised for Atletico, and then most of the game it was a bit of a stalemate until the late Jimenez goal won them the game. Atletico players, after that goal, last minute goal in the 90th minute, Players, coaches, Simeone celebrating like crazy, having a pile on, but it's typical of Atletico and Simeone's culture is basically just very passionate and showing your emotion to everyone in it, and I love it. Stade Brest hosting their game against Sturm Graz in Guingamp, not on their home stadium because it doesn't meet UEFA requirements. Brest played good football and scored with an edge of the box volley from Magnetti to open the scoring. Abdelacima scoring a half volley to win the game after as well, with Sturm Graz equalising, but it wasn't enough. Barcelona went away to AS Monaco. Barcelona were playing well, but ter Stegen having a bozo moment and making things hard for his team. Just handed the ball to Minamino, which caused Eric Garcia to take him down. And because it was a throw-on goal situation, it led to a red card in the 10th minute. So they was on the back foot already early on. Akliouche for AS Monaco scores for Monaco 5 minutes after the red card, but 10 minutes after that, Lamine Yamal scores the equaliser. That kid is on fire recently, scoring goals every last couple games. And to be honest, Yamal is hands down top 10 attackers in the world right now. Not young attackers, just overall attackers. And he's only 17. He only just turned 17 not too long ago. And even though Barca were a man down, you got guys like Koundé and Kobasi playing pretty good. And maybe the red card was a motivation for them to go harder in defence, and they managed well against Monaco's attack until they subbed on a youngster who is a one to watch for Monaco, and his name is Ilenichina, I think, and he scored the winner for Monaco after making a clever run in behind the defence. He's someone to look out for, so if you never heard of him now, search him up. He's a top talented attacker for Monaco, and he's only 18 years old. There you have it, game week 1 of the new Champions League format. Let me know what you think of it. It was very entertaining in my eyes, and it's proven the reason why UEFA changed it up. And this week I won't show the table as it's only the first week, but I will show you it the next game week. But I'll show you the top goal scorers so far and assist makers. So here we go. Harry Kane, of course, leads the top scorers chart with 4 goals, followed by Wirtz, Gittins and Michael Olise with 2 goals. The top assist makers are Jamal Musiala, Kimmich and Monaco's Van der Sar, all with two assists and topping the assist charts from there. And there you have it, Champions League game 1 review done. I hope you enjoyed the video, and like, subscribe, hit the noti bell. There's going to be other videos other than reviews, all cooking up, and I've got notes down for future videos and future ideas. So put that noti bell so you don't miss any videos, and peace.